Hey, it's Oreed, and today we're talking about how to have your partner's 100% support and backing you up in your dreams and your passion when they're overly anxious about money. You know, you need money to fuel your dreams, to get that started, to get your book published, to get your online business started, but they are freaking out, right? So for me, I had to, like, when I first brought the idea of running my own business and quitting my job to Aaron, he was totally supportive. And he still is. But when the reality kicked in, like, I was working my full time job and working a side hustle on my business. I was just like on the screen all the time, working all the time. Understandably, he wasn't too happy about that. Like everything changed. It changed our entire relationship. And even though he was never unsupportive about money and supporting me, it was a huge shock to him to have this big change. And even when I quit my job, I was working a lot at the start of my business. It's a big change. It's a big shock to our relationship. And so, what you have to do is you have to really you have to speak up all the time. You have to be able to speak up about what your dreams are. And it can't just be a one time sharing, it has to be a conversation all the time. um, I learned to start telling him my schedule when I was working, what sessions I had, how much work I had to do after. There's still some tension around me working too much, or being on the screen too much, not present enough in our relationship. But the more that I speak up about what I need my day to be, how long it's going to take for me to back away a little bit more, the less of a shock it is to his nervous system. So, in terms of money, when your partner is super anxious about money, like money gets a bad rap a lot of times. Like it is the scapegoat of a lot of unresolved trauma, a lot of emotional baggage. And when there's something that's changing around money for anybody who like feels like money, there's not enough money, or we can't afford that, or um, why should you spend that much money on this thing when we still have to pay for this thing? Money is a really big cover up for deeper relationship problems, deeper unresolved trauma. So when you change that, when you shift that pattern, it's going to stir up old trauma in your partner and in yourself. And like for them to experience another shock like that, that basically reflects or replicates their past trauma, it's going to most likely get a really big response from them, either fight, flight, freeze, or shut down. So they might get angry and mimic the fight response. They might freeze up and just shut down and not talk to you for days and be really avoidant. They might leave the house and flight away. You know, like this is a really legitimate explanation for their behavior and why they're seeming unsupportive. So if it's something that you spring up on them, like you don't want to really start a disagreement, or you don't really want to speak up about what's going on, in terms of like how much money you need to invest in this coach to get your business off the ground. And then all of a sudden you're like, this is what I've done. This is how much I'm investing. Are you on board? They're like, oh, are you serious? No, like we need to save this money, blah, blah, blah. You really need to warm them up. So it takes from you to be speaking up in a calm, regulated way, because your calmness and your regulation is going to affect theirs. And it takes you speaking up all the time, really being honest, really being assertive, balancing asking and being like, this is what I'm doing. But you don't want to spring it all on them at once. You can slowly warm them up. So it's like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe getting some extra support for my business. I have a deadline for 2 months from now that I can't, if I can't make an improvement, I'm going to invest possibly up to this much money. And you remind them all the time. And even if that's like, expect the first conversation about that to be a little chaotic if your partner is overly anxious about money. But keep talking about it. Don't let that first conversation and their reaction make you shut down, make you freeze up, make you avoid it altogether, because that is counterproductive. And if you keep on bringing it up with them and they're still reacting the same way, then be assertive and be like, look, I know you're really feeling anxious about this, but this is something I really need. I need to invest money to make money. I need to invest in myself and prove to myself that I believe in myself, and I actually need you to believe in me too. But I understand that it's making you anxious for me to invest this much money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take $5 every week from our account, whatever the amount is that you both agree on, and I'm going to put it into a separate account so it builds up, and so that by 2 months from now, if I need it, I'm going to spend that money. Okay? Okay, you on board? And like, don't make no an option. Make it, are you comfortable with $5 or $50 or whatever the numbers are? Like, make it a conversation, stay calm, stay regulated, and do it like something that you collaborate together, because you want their support, right? You need to really bring them into this. You really need to bring them into their process. This is your life partner. And if this is something that brings up a lot of anxiety in you as you're hearing me talk about it, like, whew, I don't even think I could be that assertive or bring it up this much. I tend to shut down after the first time they don't support me. Well, then I think we need to have a chat, because you really need to strengthen your nervous system and really release that old trauma that's telling you it's too scary to keep having this honest conversation, so that you can continually bring it up and make this a healthy process for your relationship, for your business. And I've started working with clients who their dreams and their building a business almost broke up their marriage. And it wasn't until they started really communicating to them that things got much better. Like, they were in a place where, like, I don't even know if this is going to work out. Like, I might have to throw my marriage away. And that didn't have to happen. Like, it's just a matter of shifting the patterns, changing the paradigm, warming them up, because wouldn't you want the same from them, to have a warm up of an idea of a real change to your relationship, to your lives, because your nervous system needs some gentle warming up as well. So if this is something you want support with, if you've tried this out before and it's just not working, like in the moment you say you're going to talk to them, but you just freeze up or you don't say anything, then there's a bigger, deeper problem that's going on in your body where your trauma is stored. And I'd love to help you and talk to you for free about how you can actually release that trauma and become more assertive and become more comfortable and confident speaking up, and really getting your partner to back you up 100%. Because I'm telling you, it is so much better. It feels so much better when you put basically everything, you put yourself so much out there to make your dreams come true. And there's a huge difference between feeling that support and having to fight with not only yourself, because it's such a new thing that it's really, really hard to build this business, but to also have to fight with your partner about it, or go through a divorce or a breakup and all the other things that come with that. So let's have a free chat. I do relationship review. It's 30 minutes long. There's no obligation to work with me. And I'd love to really see where you're at now, how to release the trauma so that you can speak up and you can get your partner on board with your goals and dreams for life, so you can live your dream life together. Maybe that sounds cheesy, but it's totally possible. And it's totally possible for you. So if you're interested in having that review, click on the link. Depending on where you're watching, it's to the side, above, or below. And until next time, I can't wait to see you move. Bye.